Good morning, Helen.
Good morning. We're here to call for a congressional hearing on family court, for the nation's family courts. Kathy Lee and I are here to attend two congressional hearings or briefings on tomorrow, Tuesday, October, I think it's 11th tomorrow, and on October 12th. And this is 2011. Right now it's going on 11 a.m. and we're here to protest in front of the White House.
Letters, and then this is information on we're doing such a bad job in the United States of protecting women and children.
You know, I'm here in D.C. to address the responsibility we all have in safeguarding children and address the entirely outrageous injustice lurking in the nation's family court system, leading to good, fit mothers being convicted of felonies while attempting to protect their children. In our court case, the court found the father sexually abused son and daughter, including but not limited to repeatedly sodomizing and enforcing oral copulation. And this is in a court finding by a judge. Father was awarded sole custody based on parental alienation. A representation of abuse is parental alienation. It is not mothers bad-mouthing fathers to children like the fathers and families describe. It's not about that. It's always about abuse of children. That's what parental alienation is. The United States Supreme Court Sachs versus Sachs petition is about placing good, fit mothers on no contact or supervised visits because children disclose abuse, or in our case, during an intact marriage, physician diagnosed child sexual abuse based on 5-year-old son's torn, bloody rectum, swollen to the size of a hardball. Father's response to the child sexual abuse diagnosis was to go into divorce court with a criminal attorney, resulting in abusive fathers being awarded custody based on parental alienation. Sachs versus Sachs was attempting to expose this national crisis. Another extremely dangerous precedent is the Jurisdiction Act in the nation. It's the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction Act, UCCJEA. This act is based on the parent-child relationship. The only inquiry is the status of the parent left behind. Yet in our case, despite court-appointed psychologists concluding that it is emotionally destructive for Mac and Lynn to have contact with their father, the children were ordered back to Illinois to their father after those court findings. Mother was wrongly criminally charged and wrongly convicted of not following family court orders, generally a contempt of court. Mother was sentenced to 12 years in prison with a $25 million bond, despite Illinois Department of Corrections' recommendation of no time served. The Department of Health and Human Services is a federal agency responsible for states improving the safety of children. Yet, HHS policy to Child Protective Services is to not investigate child abuse if there are custody issues. According to their website, HHS, in conjunction with Fathers and Families, train the nation's judges, minors attorneys, and custody evaluators to label mothers with parental alienation. Another dangerous precedent is Child Protective Services' unsubstantiated findings of abuse. You know, the findings of abuse are not the same as false allegations, which that's what it gets transformed to in family court. Yet, you know, and it warrants divorce court to award abusive parents custody based on this case law, Hartman versus Hartman. So when a child is abused, it's investigated, it's unsubstantiated by Child Protective Services, and family court awards the abuser custody. Under the scrutiny of Child Protective Services in Los Angeles County, 35 children a year are abused to death based on unsubstantiated findings of abuse.
Wow.
The National Cathedral in DC published an article stating only 6 priests out of 40,000 were substantiated findings. 6 priests out of 40,000 were ever substantiated findings. But $800 million was paid out by the Catholic Church. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children are another problem. They do not discern children that are trying to escape a sexually abusive father from a child being exploited. My grandchildren ran away from a sexually abusive father. They were hunted down by the United States Marshals, the FBI, etc. And they were found, and they were shipped back to their abusive fathers. Family Court and Child Protective Services has got to take into consideration physicians fail to report child abuse for a myriad of reasons, from a fear of harming their practice to a fear of entanglement as a result of reporting. Legislation has not achieved the desired goals. Only a small percentage of cases, child sexual abuse cases, are ever reported, or child abuse is ever reported by a physician or pediatrician. And this is stated in the Proof of Fact, a law book regarding how legislation has failed. And physicians who are mandated reporters do not report abuse. Yet another dangerous precedent in family court is the overwhelming, pervasive assumption that mothers lie about abuse. And it cannot be overcome, that assumption is not overcome by evidence, facts, or logic. In conclusion, the law of the land is based on the United States Supreme Court DeShaney case law. It's a horrific child abuse case law. It's based on the United States Constitution, the 14th Amendment. A person or child does not have a right to be protected from abuse by a private actor or parent. This was handed down, the DeShaney case law was handed down in our case. It's handed down in all abuse cases. In the Jessica Gonzalez is the United States Supreme Court case. And based on the DeShaney, the father murdered the 3 daughters, but the mother, lost the case based on DeShaney. That is the law of the land. Children are not protected. And I want to see some things changed. I want some congressman or someone to care about abused children. I haven't found anyone yet. And I'm hoping in the near future we'll find someone that cares about abused children.
Take the glasses off and look into my eyes, Helen. What is your final statement?
It's that children are not protected here in the United States. And when you scratch the surface, it's based on the United States Constitution, the United States Supreme Court case laws. It goes very deep, and then the policies from the federal government to not investigate abuse if there are custody issues. And they're not investigated, even if the abuse happened during an intact marriage.